All right, let's get right into it. If you've ever felt like you're just looking for a clearer path in life, a real practical roadmap to cut through all the noise and the stress, well, then this is for you. We're going to break down a really powerful ancient framework for finding your way. So let's dive in.
So let me start with a question. Does this feel familiar? That feeling that you're running as fast as you can, you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing, but you're just kind of stuck. Like you're on a treadmill, caught in this endless loop of stress, and always thinking there's got to be something more. If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone. And honestly, that's the first huge thing we have to get our heads around. This feeling, it's not a personal failure. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It is a fundamental core part of the human experience, a kind of universal friction that, we all deal with. Now, to really get this, there's this ancient concept called dukkha. The typical translation is suffering, which, let's be real, sounds so heavy and dramatic. A much better way to think of it, for our purposes, is like a low-grade, constant hum of dissatisfaction. It's that background stress that things just aren't quite right. And this, right here, is exactly what it looks like today. It's that mindless doom scrolling on your phone. It's the relentless pressure of the next email, the next deadline. It's that trap of thinking, oh, if I just get that new job or that new phone or go on that vacation, then I'll finally be happy. It's constantly comparing your life to the highlight reels you see online and that nagging feeling that something's missing. See, it's not some big dramatic tragedy. It's the everyday friction of our lives. So if we all have this feeling, what's really causing it? Let's dig in here, because the real root of all this friction, it's probably not what you think. We tend to blame everything outside of ourselves, right? The stressful job, the tough relationship, the state of the world, all that external stuff. But here's the absolute key. The problem isn't actually what happens to you. The real source of that struggle, that constant dissatisfaction, it's all internal. It's how we react to things. It's how we cling and grasp onto our ideas of how things should be. This right here is the engine of our stress, this intense internal push and pull. We get something good, and we desperately try to hold on to it, terrified it's going to end. Something bad happens, and we desperately try to push it away, wanting it gone right now. It's this constant clinging and resisting. That is where the struggle comes from. And you know what? That is incredible news, because it means the solution is actually in our own hands. And that brings us to the most important part of this entire conversation. This is the promise. This is the good news that you really, really need to hear today. I want you to just let this sink in for a second. An end to this constant draining struggle, it is not some impossible fairy tale. It's not a fantasy. It is actually possible. You can fundamentally change your relationship with this feeling. 100%. Look, this isn't about becoming some perfect Zen master who never feels stress again. No way. It's about achieving freedom from being controlled by it. And that is absolutely 100% achievable. Okay, so how? How do we actually do it? This is where we get into the roadmap. And I want to be super clear. Please think of this as a practical guide for your life, not some rigid set of rules you have to follow perfectly. The whole path really boils down to these 3 simple ideas. The first is wisdom, basically learning to see things clearly just as they are. The second is ethical conduct, which is all about how we act and speak in the world with real intention. And the third is mental concentration, literally training your mind to be more clear and focused, just like you train a muscle in the gym. And inside those 3 pillars, you find these 8 practices. The key is that they all work together. It's not a checklist. It starts with wisdom. Things like right understanding, which is just seeing the cause of our own stress, and right thought. That flows into how we act, our ethical conduct, like using right speech and taking right action. And the whole thing is supported by training the mind, with things like right mindfulness, just being present, and right concentration. They all reinforce each other every single day. So the most important thing is, how do you put this into practice, like right now? Think of it as a simple, powerful 4-step loop. Step 1, just acknowledge that feeling of dissatisfaction when it pops up. Step 2, understand where it's coming from. See your own mind clinging or resisting something. Step 3, remember the promise. Believe that you don't have to be yanked around by this feeling. And step 4, act. Just pick one of those 8 areas as your guide and take one small intentional step. Look, this isn't about a massive life overhaul tomorrow. It's just about progress, not perfection. So I'll leave you with this question. Forget the giant plan for a minute. Looking at your own life right now, what is the very first, smallest step you can take on this path today?